Hello and welcome to the Nonprofit Exchange. I'm your host, C. Richard Gilcrease, and today we have Miss Candace Blue as our guest who represents the nonprofit organization who's in the works of becoming a nonprofit organization. That's what I like about the Nonprofit Exchange. Miss Blue, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Mr. Gilcrease.
Good. And so tell us about the name of your foundation.
The name of my foundation is Namel Prince. It's named after my son, who was murdered on October 5th, 2018, and I wanted to bring about his honor and honor the things that he was about. He was interested in education, in school, working, and he also had a young daughter, and he was a very proud father. So I wanted to bring life to his name, even in the tragedy. And therefore, I started the nonprofit, and I wanted to help other young people in our community to understand what gun violence really is. And
well, that's interesting because we have something in common. I lost my son to gun violence, one of my sons to gun violence, so I understand the grief that people go through for that. But I see that you've taken that grief and stepped it up to another level. So now, let's see, what have you had to do in order to put this foundation together?
Well, in order to put the foundation together, we had to first sit down and kind of talk and hash out what we wanted to do, how we wanted to make a difference in our community. We wanted to make sure the people that we were targeting or looking for would definitely have a benefit or opportunities from becoming involved with us. So we reached out to other organizations to see what they were doing and not to duplicate services. And then I talked to some friends and family members who also had suggestions, and I met up with a fraternity by the name of Gamma Epsilon Theta, and they're at a Hampton University, and they also look to mentor young people and men, and therefore that gave me kind of a focus of where I would want this organization to go. So we started to work looking at the background and filing paperwork.
There you go.
And looking to see what it would
So what kind of paperwork have you filed so far?
Oh, wow. We did limited liability corporation, so we had to decide what type of corporation or partnership we would want to develop.
Okay.
And through the investigation of it, and whether it's going to be an S corp or a nonprofit, we had to sit down and kind of figure out which avenue we'd want to take. And I wanted to take the actual road of nonprofit because I wanted to really help the community. It wasn't about me gaining income. It was about me giving back to the community, to show people that there's love in our community. With the tragedy, that if we unite together, we can overcome it. And the people who surrounded me during the time that I lost my son, that's what they did for me. And I know there's families out there that don't have that opportunity, don't have that love to, and I wanted to share it with everyone. So that's the main reason of starting the foundation. And then the other paperwork that we did is to start bylaws. Okay. And we had to figure out what would actually go into the bylaws, the articles of incorporation. We had to figure out what we want to say in each piece. So you have to be very detailed, and you have to stay focused on serving that population you want to service. But at the same time, there's legal jargon that you have to go through and read through and understand. And so that was a big piece for me, just to research. And I was just so lucky that I have a brother who also is an attorney, and he kind of gave me some pointers of what to look for, what to read up on. But he also instructed me that since I wasn't a paid client, he wasn't going to do the work for me.
All right.
So he gave me a lot of information, and still does. But I really stepped out on faith, and like I said, did my research. And after filing for our business name, and then creating our articles of incorporation, creating our board of directors, creating bylaws.
So now tell me about this board of directors. Who became your board of directors?
So our board of directors is pretty much a mixture from our community.
Okay.
There's two gentlemen from the Gamma Epsilon Theta fraternity on the board.
Excellent.
There's a member from the Delta Sigma Theta on our board. Some of my family members, because it's dear to them that they wanted to make sure that we do what Namel would have done.
Okay.
So they wanted to be there. And we also have some currently community-minded people who have ran organizations before
On the board.
And we're looking for others to join us if they're interested in being a part of it. We're definitely looking for
All right, so now where is this board of directors going to be at? This board of directors, the home office is where?
currently we run out of our home.
Okay.
And we're looking for, but we meet at the Norfolk State Innovative Center.
Okay.
And we also
Say that again, the
Norfolk State University Innovative Center.
Excellent. All right.
So we currently
Right here on the campus of Norfolk State.
Yes.
All right, that's great. So now, having this board of directors gives you some direction over the next 4 or 5 years. What role are you going to play?
My role right now, I think, is pretty much getting out there and getting the information out, getting people informed of the services that we want to provide,
Okay.
and linking other organizations to our youth that we want to help and service, because we want them to have multiple opportunities to succeed in life. We feel that if they're given the opportunities of education and business awareness, and also just information about preventing gun violence. We want them to understand that their lives matter. We want them to understand that you don't have to belong to a group to fit in, and that group is not really loyal to you, or that group is not really going to help you move up in life. We want them to see that they can move up on their own, and we would give them positive opportunities, positive feedback, positive chances, and just the mentoring.
Sounds like you're going to be the mover and shaker of this organization.
Well, I'm hoping so, because
You're ready for it.
I'm definitely ready for the challenge.
Right.
And
so now, one of the things that I notice about boards of directors and organizations getting started is, how do you finance something like this? You're going to want to provide these services to people, but of course those services are going to cost you dollars and cents. So have you made a decision as to how your board is going to help you finance, and have you made a decision how you are going to help finance?
Well, currently, yes, we've decided to do a few fundraisers a year. This year we're doing a fundraiser. It's a luncheon, and again, to bring awareness to gun violence, and that's on June 1st, 12 o'clock at the Doubletree Hilton Hotel in Virginia Beach. And that's going to be a fundraiser. We're going to use that money to go towards the scholarships to help youth who are going to continue their education.
All right.
That's one of the ways we're going to raise money. And we also plan in the years to come other fundraisers, including golf outings, of what we call a princess tea.
Okay.
And I don't know.
That sounds like that's going to be good.
Yeah.
A prince and princess tea.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
great. I think it's a good idea. We kind of embraced the idea from my son's name, because his
Okay.
name is Namel Prince, and we want to show everyone that they are royalty.
Royalty. There
And
you
that
go.
they should feel special, and that they should know that they have opportunity out here if they just apply what we provide them or what we are able to guide them through.
So the nonprofit exchange was originally an idea to help people start and run their own nonprofits, or to get involved with other nonprofits. So now, have you sat down with your board of directors already and started looking at your needs for volunteers? What are you going to need volunteers for? And if you don't have the answer to that right now, just think about that, because there are many organizations out there, the Hampton Roads Volunteer Association, there's other organizations out there that are willing to volunteer to help, with organizations. So have you figured out some yet that you might need?
I I would say yes. In some avenues, we're looking at mentors.
Okay.
And we would like to be able to link up the young ladies and the young men to people who are very positive in the community and can give them some insight on life skills and walk them through. Maybe they have grief, or maybe they have some tragedy in their life that they're not sure how to go through.
Okay.
And we just want to be able to provide that opportunity. So if they are interested in mentoring people, that would be great.
All right, so now this is the time where we'll do this again as we go along with the program, but give them a number where they can reach you at.
My phone number is 757-753-7242.
One more time.
757-753-7242.
And is there a social media page that you have available already?
Yes, we do. We have the Namel Prince Foundation on Facebook.
So now spell his first name.
Namel is Namel, and then the name Prince, PRINCE Foundation, and that's on Facebook. We also have an Instagram page. We also have a website, which is namelprincefdn.com, and we also have an email. If you want to contact us that way, you can do Namel Prince FDN.
And the FDN stands for Foundation. Okay.
At gmail.com.
Now we're going to give that number out again, but I just want people to start to think about, here's a way for you to, instead of actually starting your own organization, if gun violence is one of the issues that you have, and you want to come in and help Ms. Prince with that information and how she's doing things, this is your opportunity to come on and jump on board and help both the fraternity that's helping right now and the organization, the board members that are helping, and now the volunteers that can help. Right. So one of the major issues sometimes about organizations is, how do you manage this? What kind of management activities are you going to be doing that will help you manage this? In other words, are you going to have staff? Are people doing this? Are you going to have, have you figured that out yet? And if you haven't, I understand.
We have not gone that far. This is brand new.
Right.
As I said to you, my son was murdered 7 months ago, and we started this organization about 3 months now.
Okay.
So we're still building, we're still developing, we're still looking for people who really want to be involved. We've talked to other organizations who have similar causes, and we're trying to pull them in together so that we can work with them also.
Well, that's an important thing, because sometimes you need what is called skilled volunteers, and a skilled volunteer that can come in and help you all with staffing, with your whole management end, would be a very good volunteer right now. So, and I'm not sure that, I heard you mention this duplication of service. I really would like you not to get that as one of the things that you're aware of. Duplication of service to me means that we are trying to pull everything together and all of us going to be as one. That's probably not good. And the reason why it's not good is because when you look at McDonald's, they didn't put one McDonald's on the corner. They decided to put a whole lot of McDonald's around. And the reason why is it's a good business model to have a number of smaller places so that people have a up close and personal experience when they're involved in something. So I think that you all can look at the number of gun violence activities that are going on and add to it so that there are more than one place for people to go to deal with gun violence. I think sometimes social organizations sometimes try to say, well, that's a duplication of service. But I think sometimes that those social organizations that do that are not really aware of the kind of impact that smaller places have, like the McDonald's and like the other organizations.
And we've met a few other organizations that are focused on bringing gun violence awareness. And when I say not to duplicate them, I'm saying that because we're looking to partner with them, and we are looking to participate in their events, and we're looking for them to participate in our events. So we're working together with them. So when I say that, there's a few of them that are here in the Hampton Roads area that we have partnered with, and they actually come to our board meetings. And then there's also other agencies that I've spoken to, and they have reached out to me that are in Michigan and Florida and in Washington D.C. And it's a United States problem of gun violence, and so therefore we've been reaching out to all the different states and trying to locate the different folks that are involved in gun violence, just to get awareness out and see what they have done, see if we can help, and see if they can help us to get ours off the ground. So that
is so important. And I think with the advent of the internet now, you can do that kind of thing. You know, you can actually reach out to all the ones in your local area and then those across the country, because there really are some great activities going on in this country that relate to programming that helps young people. And I think this is an excellent way to do that. You're listening to the Nonprofit Exchange. I'm your host, C. Richard Gilcrease, and we're just blessed today to have a new organization out here really trying to help with the whole idea of gun violence. So now, when your son was murdered in this whole array of gun violence, the kind of thing that we both experienced during that was, okay, what can we do, and how can we do it, and what would sustain that? So look at what it is that you're talking about over the next 10 years and say, what kind of future do you think this nonprofit has?
Well, I'm hoping that this nonprofit will definitely make it easier for people to bring awareness, to get out and talk about it, to get out and share what's going on in their communities, to share the knowledge that they have of what may happen. My son was not in a neighborhood, so to speak, he was on a major road when he got shot. So this happens all over. It doesn't happen just in certain neighborhoods. It's a touching the world everywhere. And I just want all the youth and young people out there to know that they have an opportunity at life, and that they don't have to belong to something that's not positive. They don't have to walk afraid of living. They need to enjoy life. They need to get out and be exposed to different cultures. They need to be exposed to traveling. There's so much to life that they're missing out by getting involved with negativity. And there's so much in life that they're missing out when they don't realize that shooting someone is a ending. It's a final stage. There's nothing that you can do to fix that. If that person dies, there's nothing you can do. You can't make up later. So I want them to realize that this, and they're hurting somebody's family. Not only are they hurting that person, but they're hurting other people. And they might have had a problem with that person, or as a lot of young people this day, they seem that they have an issue with respect.
Right.
They really need to realize that they're not respecting the parents of the children that are being shot when they shoot someone. And they're not respecting the fact that they might have a family member that needs them or depends on them. So they need to be aware that you're not just hurting one person, you're hurting multiple people. And that chain effect is not a positive effect. And the young children have to grow up without mothers, without fathers, and then parents are losing their children. So that's not great either. So we just want to make sure it brings awareness and have people to take a second look before they pull the trigger, a second thought before they pull that trigger, and maybe they can talk it out, they can work it out, and figure out that tomorrow is a better day.
Have you reached out to any mental health mental health people? Maybe that might be a good grief counseling and mental health folks might be a good way to help some young people who are struggling with how to handle that, because instinct, or just having the instinct to hurt someone, is probably a learned behavior, just like in learning to be empathetic for people is a learned behavior. So maybe I'm just asking as a suggestion, mental health people and grief counselors that would be in your organization that would help you kind of get to that.
We do have two licensed people on our board that
Excellent.
are counselors. One's a gentleman and one's a lady.
Okay.
So and like I said, we're still looking for others because I'm
Okay.
sure that as we grow and as we move about the community, there's going to be a lot of need, and we're going to need your help. So if there's people out there that have that specialty,
Right.
we would love for them to call us and make contact with us, because that would be a great way for us to grow.
And that's a good time for you. That telephone number again.
757-753-7242.
And your name is?
Candace Blue.
And Miss Blue is actually the executive director and founder. We're going to call her executive director and founder of her organization, even though her board of directors is coming together and doing and I think that's an exciting thing, to be able to go back and look at what can I do. And now, when you have your luncheon, who are you giving scholarships to?
We're raising that money to give scholarships to young people who are interested in continuing their education, and a special note to those who are looking for the art. My son was a very gifted, talented artist,
Okay.
and so if someone comes in that realm, we probably I look to say, who are you? I'm not going to stop if I don't find that person. I'm going to go ahead and give a scholarship out. But we're hoping that the young people out there are interested in pursuing their dreams,
Okay.
and reaching their goals. So that's what that scholarship will do.
So now give them the Facebook page so they know where to put their art on.
It's the Namel Prince Foundation, and that's spelled NAMELPRINCE Foundation, FOUNDATION. And then we also could be reached at namelprincefdn, that's abbreviated for foundation, at gmail.com.
That's going to be great. People who are artists out there, I've got a nephew that really likes art. So now, did your son draw his art, or did he do it on the how you say, the computer?
He drew. He drew his art.
Hand draw. All right.
He was very much into drawing, and he was very creative. So
you got any of his drawings that you can auction off?
I don't want to right now.
You're going to keep them all.
Right now, I don't want to. Maybe later I can part with some of them, but right now,
well, at least you should have a couple display at your luncheon.
Yeah.
Now, tell us again when the luncheon is.
It is June 1st at 12 o'clock at the Doubletree Hilton Hotel. Please come.
If people don't get to come, because this show might air after that, so if they don't come, you can get them to come to where are some of your services going to be held at?
They would need to call us because we are newly formed.
Okay.
Or either they can send us an email because we're newly formed. We will be reaching out to them in various communities.
Okay.
Again, with the fraternities that we're partnering with, the sororities and the board members,
right,
we're going to be making ourselves available to those that we can locate, or those who find us.
Okay.
So we are definitely.
So the Facebook page is very important.
Yes.
So on the Facebook page, you're going to have a tab that says events or activities.
Yes, it is.
And you're going to be able to tell them where they can come to be a part of the foundation.
Yes.
Particularly the foundation services.
Yes, that will be there. That's all of our events and services, our postings, and if they want to contact us, they can use that page to contact us also.
Because I think that's an important aspect to people wanting to be a part of something and can't make an event. So I tried hard to not date this show, because I may want to run it 15 more times to let people know that this service out here is available, and if they don't make the event and the show comes on and they say, well, okay, the event is over, so now what do we do? So we come to the Facebook page.
Yes, please come to the Facebook page, and we will keep you updated on how to receive our services. We will keep you updated on all our events, and we will keep you up to date on everything that we're involved in, whether we're speaking or we're marching or we're going through the community for a rally. We will keep you involved and informed.
That's excellent. So now, one more thing about legacy building. One of the things that you don't want to do is start this and not have it be in place 20 years from now, 30 years from now, or be like the organization that I've been working with for 53 years from now. So how do you think you're going to put that in place for this to last for a long time?
Well, I believe that if we build the foundation far as our board and everyone seems to be very committed to the cause, that we wouldn't have a problem with keeping the cause going, because it's something that has to be continuously talked about. It's something that has to be continuously addressed, because we don't want it to go backwards. We want to improve and lessen the amount of gun violence that's happening in our communities. So I think this is something that will be ongoing, because if you stop talking about it, then it will reoccur. So I think this is something that we need to continue to talk about and continue to provide services that will last decades to come.
So let me drop a couple of words on you that I think you can remember to keep putting that in front of your board. One is called endowment funds. Endowment funds.
Endowment funds.
And that's because if you set up an endowment fund within your organization, it grows over the course of the time that you are running the organization. The second one is called insurance policies. You can actually have your board member assign an insurance policy to your organization, and they can do it either on a cash value or they can do it at their demise, that all of the benefits of that insurance policy goes to the foundation. It's a tax write-off for them. It's a benefit to the individual who sets it up that way. Those are what they call legacy funds, and these are the funds that will help a nonprofit organization grow over the course of a period of time. The last one is the service that the organization provides. Every time you raise $1, that you put at least $2 in a savings account, or 2 cents in the savings account. You may not put the whole dollar in there, just so that as you work towards doing the service, you grow some income to maintain that service. So that was one of the things that I learned early in the game, as we provided a group of young people with a service that actually turned down the service because they saw that we were not going to be there in the future. And so they really questioned us, and I said, well, okay, what can we do? And we started to save those nickels and dimes at the outset of the service. Well, the service lasted 53 years. So that is an important aspect of growing a nonprofit, is that you actually want to grow that organization so that people can contribute to it, even when the service is not being provided, but at least that organization is now fully entrenched and it actually has things to be done in the future.
And we also look to apply for different grants that we've seen.
Yes.
So we will be looking to do that in the future. And
so that means you need a grant writer, right?
Yes, we need.
Skilled volunteers,
yes,
grant writers.
Grant writers would be one great, wonderful person for to call us. We are reaching out, like I said, to everyone. If you're interested in the cause or want to just show your expertise, we'd be willing to have you.
So now, a skilled grant writer as a volunteer would be excellent for your organization right now, and that would be excellent for them to hear that number again. Where to reach you at?
757-753-7242. Again, that's 757-753-7242.
And the last resource is this whole idea of internships, using college interns to work with your organization. So you can get them in all sorts of areas, from social work to public relations to all this social media stuff that they know how to do already, that you can get them as interns to do things. So I would encourage anybody to start a nonprofit organization to actually use college or technical interns to work with their organization.
That sounds great. We will be reaching out to the colleges for sure and hoping to receive some interns that would want to work with us even this summer and during their school year. So we'll definitely look forward to that.
All right. Well, Ms. Blue, thank you so much for the opportunity to have you on the show. And again, before we go, tell us again where it can be reached you at. The name of the foundation is?
The name of the foundation is Namel Prince Foundation. We can be reached at 757-753-7242, or you can contact us through Facebook at Namel Prince Foundation. That's NAMELPRINCE Foundation, FOUNDATION. Also, you can contact us by email. That is namelprincefdn @gmail.com, and we also have the namelprincefoundation.com website. Please call us, contact us. We're looking for you to support or be a part of our program. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Nonprofit Exchange. I'm your host, C. Richard Gilcrease. Thank you for listening.